Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Atlanta Falcons today. I'm going to jump into a very interesting preview between the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. Week 1 preseason matchup coming up on Friday. Give you some details on, hey, the starters are going to play for both teams. We'll talk about how much here in just 1 second. First, though, you see it on your screen, the breaking news from yesterday. We must get into this to start today's show, and that is the fact that the Bears star linebacker Roquan Smith, remember him, former UGA player, you Falcon fans love that, he has officially requested a trade from the Chicago Bears. And there are some Falcons, including Cordero Patterson, who have tweeted that they want to go ahead and trade for Roquan Smith. Now, Roquan's fantastic, and as a Falcon fan, you probably don't watch a lot of Bear games. The Bears have been terrible the past couple of years. They're really just a horrible franchise. Either way, Roquan's still great. 25 years old, one of the best young inside linebackers in the National Football League. And the question now is, would he make sense with the Atlanta Falcons? Like would he actually be a smart addition? Because we know he'd be a good addition because of how great of a player he is, but do you need him based on the current linebacker depth chart? We'll look at that here in just 1 second. However, if you do want to make a trade for him, Atlanta, as we're going to see via the Falcoholic, they have enough money to do so. Let's pull that quote up here as the Falcoholic has a good write-up on the possibility of trading for Roquan Smith. Quote, critically, the money works here. Smith is making over $9 million this year, but the Falcons have over $12 million in cap space on hand right now, meaning they could make the trade without moving Deion Jones. The cap would be tight if they did, but if they somehow flip Jones to Chicago, in addition to draft compensation, or find a partner to move him, they'd have plenty of space to keep adding contributors. Smith would need an extension after the season, and this can't be a one-year rental, given that the Falcons may not be all that great this year, but Atlanta's about to have a war chest of cap space in 2023 they could break into to bring Smith back, end quote. This, to me, again, is good news because obviously money is a big deal here in the 2023, like they said, war chest of cap space that they will be having with the Matt Ryan contract coming off the books gives them the ability to add in Roquan Smith. My one question here is the necessity. Like, you have some young guys at inside linebacker, most notably Walker and obviously Troy Anderson. And I know Anderson's a rookie, but are you going to instantly kind of bet that he's not going to be that good? What if Troy Anderson turns out to be a really good linebacker? Maybe he's not going to be as good as Roquan Smith. However, he'd be a heck of a lot cheaper. Like, as a second-round draft pick, Anderson is pennies on the dollar for the next 4 years. Way cheaper than what you're going to have to pay one of the better inside linebackers in the National Football League and Smith when his contract is up at the end of this year. I'm not saying I would not do it. I'd be very happy if Atlanta did do it, but the question really becomes, do you need him? It's really up to what Dean Pease thinks defensively in terms of how the young linebackers are looking at this far through training camp. But I still want to present the question to you guys. What do you think? Do you want the Falcons to trade for Roquan Smith or pass on Roquan Smith? Type T down below for trade or type P down below for pass. Alright, so the meat of today's video, as you saw in the title, is a quick matchup preview, really looking into my top 5 players to watch for the Atlanta Falcons when they take on the Detroit Lions, the Hard Knocks Detroit Lions. You know, you guys watched that TV show coming up on Friday night. Obviously, the records don't really matter, but we can at least take a look at them. Detroit, very underwhelming last year, but competitive. Think like the Baltimore Raven game they should have won. There were a couple more where they could have gotten to 5 or 6 wins. Atlanta, 7-10, very much up and down, but preseason's not about winning and losing. Preseason's about, getting the young guys out there, having the battles between the backup players, and we're going to talk a lot about that here in the video in just a couple of minutes. Worth noting, this is big. We're going to pull up a tweet here. It looks like in terms of the preseason, both teams are going to play their starters a significant amount of time, at least significant in terms of first preseason game standards. We'll start with this. Adna Ikik, they say his last name. I butchered names. Sorry about that. He said this regarding Arthur Smith. Quote, Smith said everybody will play in the preseason games as long as they're healthy. Quote, I promise you, if everyone is healthy, they will play. The expectation there seeming like you're going to see Marcus Mariota for at least a couple of series and the rest of the starters in, this preseason game. Dan Campbell, likewise, he's going to play his players an entire quarter. Listen to this, quote, I know they're playing their starters early in this game, and I already thought that was the way that I wanted to go too, so I'd like to get our starters some reps in this game, maybe a quarter. Because, there again, you can't just mimic game speed and game intensity. The only way to get ready for a season is to simulate that intensity, but at the same time, I want to be smart too. So you can see up to a quarter of starters, at least for the Lions, and possibly if they want to match each other, your Atlanta Falcons. Now, is this a good idea? Should the starters play versus the Lions? I think they should. I mean, I think that this team is young enough to where the starters need to be gaining that actual in-game intensity that Dan Campbell talked about. Would you do it? Type Y down below for yes. If you would not, go ahead and type N down below for no. Now, in terms of the top 5 players to watch for your Atlanta Falcons, regardless if it's a starter's play or not. Let's dive right into that. I think the first of which is Drew Dalman. Dalman is very much in a very intense battle right now for the center position. He's gotten some pretty decent first-team reps. They've been swapping a little bit regarding Hennessy and Dalman, but he is someone who very much is going to be under a microscope over the next 3 preseason games for a chance to start, which is huge. I mean, being the center of the Atlanta Falcons or any National League football team is a very big deal, so Dalman is a big one to watch out for. And what's interesting in terms of the actual depth chart, might be a little different than what you're seeing on the screen. The first preseason depth chart did not list a starting center. They have Dalman and Hennessy kind of one on top of the other, but they have the non-starter tag on there, and so they've not officially announced who's going to be the starter for this game. Very interesting to watch if it's Dalman or Hennessy going into week 1. Now, who do you think wins the center battle? We've asked this question before. I'll ask it again. I think it's Dalman type D low for Dalman. I think it's Hennessy type H low for Hennessy. I think Dalman is starting to kind of rise up a lot of people's boards overall. I think he has a really good chance to go ahead and start. Next player on our list was mentioned earlier regarding the Roquan Smith trade. That is Troy Anderson. I think Troy Anderson is very much going to be a linebacker under the microscope over this first preseason game. If he were to stink, then maybe the Roquan Smith trade becomes a little bit more likely, although everything we've heard from Falcon training camp is that he has looked pretty darn good, and he does look like he's going to be ready to play. And with Deion Jones continuing to be out with the shoulder surgery and possibly wanting to be out anyway, Troy Anderson very much has a chance to be a starting linebacker. I'm looking for him to play really well, even if it's an early preseason game. Now, before we get into number 3, which is your favorite young wide receiver, hint, hint, if you guys want to bet on this Falcon game or, the Week 1 Falcon game or any of the Falcon games this year, do it with our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. That promo code is Falcons125, get you a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up, meaning put your $100 deposit down, use our promo code in our link, it turns into $225 for you guys to bet on the Atlanta Falcons. Football season is here, get to betting with our friends at BetUS. The link is on your screen right now. All right, next player, we mentioned it, Drake London. I think Drake London, obviously in preseason games, as a rookie wide receiver, needs to get reps. I'm very much against him sitting. He should play. He should play a decent amount. He should get some targets and just, again, get that NFL game flow going here. I think I'm expecting to see him to play a lot with the ones, even though he's far down on the depth chart right now, but all rookie wide receivers are below on the first depth chart, so no need to worry there. He's looked great so far in camp. He's very much in competition to get a lot of reps at wide receiver, and I think getting to see him along with the other wide receivers, very much a big battle to keep an eye on, will be very interesting for the Atlanta Falcons, especially in this first preseason game. Now, question, do you think we can hit 8,000 subscribers here on Atlanta Falcons today by week 1? You guys think we can? Well, we need 617 more of you guys to subscribe to get us from 7,383 all the way up to 8,000 for week 1. If you guys love what we do here, you're excited for week 1 and the Atlanta Falcons, go down below and subscribe. All right, next player is Taquan Graham. We haven't talked a lot about Taquan Graham here on the show, but in the first preseason depth chart released yesterday, Graham was listed as a starter on the defensive line. I mean, ahead of Marlon Davidson, which is a little bit surprising because Davidson was a higher draft pick, and you expect this to kind of be the year, make it or break it for Marlon Davidson, but Graham was listed as an actual starter. Does it mean he plays or not? I'm not sure, but I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on whether he plays in a preseason game or just overall in terms of practices with training camp over the next couple of days and weeks. A little bit of a shocker there on the defensive line depth chart. We'll see if he plays. I expect him to, and if he does, how productive can he be in terms of moving the pocket and possibly getting into the backfield. Final player, the one we all care about, really is Desmond Ridder. Now, I thought about including Marcus Mariota here, but obviously Mariota was one we want to keep an eye on, but Ridder should get a significant amount of play time. I would play my backup rookie quarterback a quarter and a half. I'm going to give him the entire third quarter and let him ride. I know they're going to go ahead and put Felipe Franks in at some point. He'll be the final quarterback, most likely to see the football field, but I think Ridder should get a significant amount of time. Maybe you play him the second quarter and the third quarter. He needs to get reps. Like, you got to build this guy up, and you can put him in a very non-pressure situation by playing him with the twos against other twos in a preseason game. And so every rookie quarterback should get a lot of reps in the preseason. It should be no different for Desmond Ridder. Mariota, maybe you give him a quarter, a little bit less. Give Ridder until the end of the third quarter, and then Franks will finish it out in the fourth quarter. That is how I would do it because, yes, again, it's still early. These quarterbacks are young. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to make bad throws. They're playing with number 2 offensive lines. Like, these are all things that we know, but get the guy in there. Let's see him actually play. He's my favorite player to watch and my number 1 player I'm interested in for the first preseason game. Now, I mentioned earlier as we end today's video that really, score doesn't matter in this game. The Falcons could get blown out 31-0, and we did break down, but it's not that big of a deal. Still, give me your best score prediction. Let's just have some fun. Give me your score prediction for the Falcons preseason game. If you get it right, I'm going to be very impressed, and I'm going to look through the comments, see if anyone actually does get it right after the game on Friday night. Okay, before we go ahead and end, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you want to ask me Falcon-related questions, follow me at Real Thomas Mott. A lot of Falcon stuff tweeted on my official Twitter account. That's the official one you can reach me at. And if you guys want more great Falcons content, be sure to subscribe down below and like the video. If you guys like what we do here, give this video a thumbs up. I've been told the YouTube algorithm will reward the Falcons with wins this season if you like the video. Not really, I made that up. But still, it's a good reason why you guys should go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Okay, ultimate for today on our Atlanta Falcons preview for the preseason game week 1 against the Detroit Lions. For producer Coop, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.